Motorsport TV Live, brought to you by Motorsport Tickets, the dedicated motorsport experiences provider.
Hello and welcome to Motorsport TV Live with me, Bryn Lucas, bringing you all the latest stories from around the world of motorsport. Toto Wolff brushes off claims the F1 title is now out of reach. Big changes ahead for Formula E's practice session plans. And Francesco Bagnaia calls for an F1 style super license for everyone making the step up to MotoGP. All those stories and more coming up here on Motorsport TV Live. Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff has dismissed the idea that the Formula One driver and constructors titles are slipping away. Max Verstappen produced a dominant display in Mexico to win for the third Grand Prix in a row and extend his World Championship lead to 19 points. That's led to Wolff playing down the idea that the titles are out of reach, with the season reaching its climax. He said, "None of us are ever going to leave this circuit with the mentality of this is going away from us. There's 4 races to go. There's 4 wins to take, 4 DNFs to suffer, and we'll just continue fighting. But when you look at the mathematical probability, obviously I'd rather be 19 points ahead than behind, but it is what it is." Well, Lewis Hamilton admitted after the race that the team never had the race pace to keep up with the Red Bulls, and in the end the 7-time world champion did well to defend against charging Sergio Perez, who became the first Mexican to claim a podium at his home Grand Prix. Motorsport.com's F1 editor John Noble joined us earlier and believed that Red Bull's superiority would have always shown in the end.
When you look closely at that run down to the first corner, I think Valtteri could have done a better job in defending it. They both made the perfect start. The getaway, they were ahead of the 2 Red Bulls. Max was going to have to find a way around the outside. I think Bottas, played it straight, played it fair, and left some room on the outside. But if you look closely, you can see the track slightly bends and offers a bit more room. And that was all the invitation that Max Verstappen needed. He braked much later. He was on the clean, virtual, perfect racing line into turn 1, and he was gone. But I think we shouldn't make too much of that turn 1, because that Red Bull was so fast yesterday. I think even if Max had been 3rd into turn 1, he still would have won the race. They're not going to gain anything by reanalyzing what they could or couldn't have done in those circumstances. The focus now is getting themselves back into proper championship contention. The gap is growing to Red Bull. Red Bull have a very quick car. They were perhaps more dominant in Mexico than we were expecting. We thought they'd have an edge, but not to the extent they had. So I think there'll be a lot of complete focus and determination now at the Brackley Mercedes factory to try to work out what they can do to fight back in Brazil. Could have been a 1-2 for Red Bull. I think if Red Bull had done a better job in qualifying on Saturday and locked out the front row, then I think we may well have seen a Red Bull 1-2, which would have left Lewis in 3rd place. So I think it was a good damage limitation to finish 2nd, but this is a point of the championship now where you can't afford to lose any points to your rival, especially for Lewis, who is behind. So 19 points is still in his hands. I think if we get to a situation where the teams leave Brazil and the gap's around 20 points, then I think Mercedes won't be comfortable, but it's still in their grasp. I think Brazil needs to be another damage limitation weekend. The high altitude still favours the Red Bull car. We've seen it in the past. We know the Red Bull's been quicker into Lagos in previous years. So I think Mercedes won't be going there expecting to win, but I think they want to be able to at least push the Red Bull and seize an opportunity. After that, I think things get more equal between the cars. We've got Qatar, which is a high-speed track, quick corners, not much chance to overtake. So that race could well come down to qualifying, and we know Lewis can be strong there. Jeddah, very, very high speed, is expected to favour Mercedes. So I think if Mercedes don't lose too much ground in Brazil, they can strike back in Qatar and Jeddah, and that leaves it then completely open for Abu Dhabi, which is a newly revised track this year, different characteristics from the past, and then it's anybody's guess.
John Noble there showing off the new signs he has in his office, and very nice too. Staying with F1, and Valtteri Bottas could make his debut for the Alfa Romeo Formula One team in the Abu Dhabi test in December if Mercedes agrees to release him. The Finn endured a nightmare start in Mexico despite starting on pole, spinning after being tagged by Daniel Ricciardo and tumbling out of contention. Bottas has already visited his team's factory and had a seat fitting in anticipation of a deal being reached. A Mercedes spokesperson told motorsport.com there was no reason for the team to stand in the way of Bottas testing for Alfa, adding that they were working on it. This has also been confirmed by the Alfa team principal Fred Vasseur, who feels that even if the car itself is completely different next year, it will still be a good exercise to get Bottas driving for the team. Formula E has dispensed with the cost-saving tyre regulations it only introduced last year, in addition to slashing the length of practice sessions ahead of the forthcoming 2022 season. At the most recent World Motorsport Council meeting back in October, the decision was made to return to the previous limits. Next season marks the final year of the Gen 2 powertrain, with increases set for the in-race power limit and attack mode. Suggestions are the increased power and new knockout qualifying format will increase tyre wear with the introduction of head-to-head duels. 2022 will also see practice sessions being cut by a third, down from 45 minutes to half an hour. The FIA has also backed Formula E's measures to avoid a repeat of the highly contentious 2021 Valencia E-Prix, in which only 9 of the 24 cars finished at racing speed. Well, don't go anywhere. With lots more from the world of motorsport, including the best of the action from a dramatic NASCAR Cup Series finale. That's all coming up here on Motorsport TV Live. How about that? Lovely scenes. Great action there from the Racing Files. And look out for a new season. That's season 3 coming this month on Motorsport TV. Highly recommend it. Well, what a year it's been for NASCAR's Kyle Larson. He was suspended from racing a year ago, but the Hendrick Motorsports driver is now a NASCAR Cup Series champion. His magical comeback season was capped off with a 10th win to hold off the challenge of former champion Martin Truex Jr. at Phoenix Raceway. Larson, who led the most laps in Sunday's race, had fallen out of the lead late, but a caution for a broken brake rotor on the track on lap 283 of 312 sent all the lead lap cars down the pit road for new tyres. For the final 23 laps, Larson controlled the race and held off for determined Truex Jr. Hendrick Motorsports decided to take a chance on him, and Larson was full of praise for the team for backing him.
I cannot believe it. I didn't even think I'd be racing a Cup car a year and a half ago. And to win a championship is crazy. I gotta say, first off, thank you so much to Rick Hendrick, HendrickCars.com, Jeff Gordon, NASCAR, every single one of my supporters in the stands, watching at home, my family. I've got so many of my friends and family here, my parents, my sister, my wife and kids. Owen had been giving me crap, a month and a half ago about how I can't win a Cup race when he's there. So that added a lot of pressure, but there were so many points of this race where I did not think that we were gonna win. And without my pit crew on that last stop, we would not be standing right here. So they're the true winners of this race. They're true champions. I'm just blessed to be a part of this group. Every single man and woman at Hendrick Motorsports, this win is for all of us and every one of you. So this is unbelievable. I'm speechless.
There you go, speechless, talking for over a minute. Speechless Kyle Larson there. Congrats to him. Ducati's Francesco Bagnaia believes MotoGP needs to adopt a super license system as seen in Formula One to better manage the talent coming into the Premier class. Bagnaia was referencing an incident involving MotoGP bound Darren Binder when the South African controversially wiped out title challenger Dennis Foggia in Sunday's Moto3 race. Binder will make his MotoGP debut in 2022 at the RNF Yamaha team, despite winning just one race in his 7 seasons in Moto3. F1 currently operates a super licence system whereby a driver must have earned a set number of points based on results in junior categories before being allowed to race in Formula 1. When asked what he thought about the Binder incident, Bagnaia felt that riders making the step up should have a strong track record behind them. I know that it's not correct to say it about another rider, but this rider will next year be with us in MotoGP, and I hope that incident will not happen. But it's something they have to think on, I think, he said. A number of riders agree with Bagnaia's suggestion, though Valentino Rossi, who has been critical in the past about riding standards in Moto3, doesn't believe a super licence will address the fundamental issues. And finally, British youngster Oliver Bearman has joined the Ferrari Driver Academy following his dual title success in Italian and German Formula 4 this season. The 16-year-old joins the academy that helped further the careers of drivers Charles Leclerc, Jules Bianchi, Lance Stroll and Callum Ilott, and more over the past decade. Bearman is also a finalist for the Aston Martin Autosport BRDC Young Driver of the Year award, along with Johnny Edgar, Louis Foster and Zach O'Sullivan. The winner is set to be announced at the Autosport Awards on the 19th of December. Well, Bearman wrapped up the ADAC Formula 4 title in Germany last weekend, picking up his 6th win of the season at the Nürburgring to finish 26 points clear. It capped off a successful year in the category with Van Amersfoort Racing, after Bearman also dominated proceedings in Italian F4, scoring 11 wins, including a 7-in-a-row sequence across Misano, Vallelunga and Imola. Well, that's all for now. I'm Bryn Lucas. Join us again here on Motorsport TV Live for all the latest news from the world of motorsports. I'll see you next time.